In honor of celebrating the 4th of July yesterday, I wanted to do a layout using some of our 4th of July paper. Now, this is from a pack that came out in May called All American Blast, and it's got some really pretty stuff in it. I'm not wild about some of it because it's got teal mixed in with it, and I just feel like in my head, patriotic needs to be red, white, and blue, but that's okay. It's not for everybody. This particular page I did like, and I want to use it because I'm going to do both sides of it to do a Starburst design that I taught at one of my in-person classes recently. And to start with, I'm going to make this paper 11 by 11. So I'm just going to cut off 1 inch here and then rotate one side and cut off another inch. So I have an 11-inch square. And we won't be using those pieces. Now, the main thing to recognize about using your papers for this, and you can use it for so many different things, is the fact that you need to like both sides of it. You need something that's not specifically directional. Unfortunately, this has flags all over the place, so it's not specifically directional. Now, I haven't tried it with a plaid before. I've tried it with several others, so we'll see how this plaid on the back is going to work. But I'm just folding this in half, side to side. And again, because we're not real directional, that doesn't matter. And then I'm going to put this into my trimmer. Here's my folded edge. It's on the bottom. And I'm going to put this on the cutting line here and on the 2-inch mark on this side. Now, this is my open side, and it's on the 2-inch mark with the bottom folded side on the cutting line. And I'm going to do that again, and I'm just going to continue until this paper has reached the end. Now, I am going to keep these in order over to my left-hand side because that will make it easier in just a minute. But I keep putting the fold edge on the cutting line and then the top edge on the 2-inch mark. Now, this is the only place that you may have an issue getting it top to bottom, getting everything cut, but it's not hard. And if you have a little piece that doesn't cut through, just chop it with your scissors. And then one more like this. And then with our leftover piece, I'm just going to open that up and slice it right down through the middle. All right. So we're through with our trimmer, and we need to pull out our background sheets. Now, for the background for this is what I was thinking, and I may change my mind on it after I get it laid out. This, again, is from that All American Blast collection. It's got all the little icons on the back. I'm not wild about the icons, so I thought that this side would probably be a better fit for me. And I've kept all of these laid exactly like they were cut. And here's what I'm going to start doing. I'm going to take these apart, and I'm going to put mine on opposing sides. And then I'm going to alternate. And that's why I kept them together. And you can see they're sticking just a touch in the middle. That's okay. We're going to cover that up anyway, so don't worry too much about that. But I love the fact that you can use that one sheet of paper and make all these great little starbursts out of it. And because you kept the two pieces together, it makes it much easier. Now, I say that, it's making it much easier, I'm sure, to alternate what you got where to get everything lined up. So we've got all of that done. Now, let me show you how I went about sticking these, and I'll stick one side to show you, and then I'll go back and stick the other one off camera and then show you how we're going to finish this out. Now, I used my silicone mat and my repositionable tape for this because anytime I'm using something that's got all of these little triangular pieces, I want to be sure that I get the little triangle corners taped pretty good. Now I'm going to start with this bottom piece right here. And that's easy because you can line it up right along the side and the bottom just to make sure that you get it straight. And then the next one that I do is going to be this top corner piece. And again, you don't have to put tape all over it, but you want to make sure you get your corners stuck pretty well. And we can line that one up. And then I'm going to kind of space these evenly in between those two. I do like the plaid. I wasn't sure I would. And I like it against this red stripe. That adds a little bit more pattern to the back. You could always put this on plain cardstock. It would probably pop a lot more on cardstock. But I just have such a hard time doing plain cardstock as a background anymore. All right. And then we are going to go ahead and do this one. And I'm going to go ahead and put tape on this one because I know that this one basically needs to go at my 6-inch mark. And if I've got my paper lined up well on my mat, I can put this at my 6-inch and then add this one in the middle. And again, it just helps with spacing. This is also why we needed to cut the paper down just a little to start with, because we needed that extra space to be able to space these out some. Now, as surely as I've got all that stuck down, and I think that's pretty, let me pull a piece of white behind this side just to show you the difference in that. So, let me throw the white down here. I think my first reason not to do white is always the fact that I mat my pictures in white when I develop. And so having that white is a little bit too much for me. But, oh, that does look pretty on it, doesn't it? So, I think what I could do here, let's look at the contrast. If we do something like this, we could have the red, white, and blue, and I could mat over here in red, which would be a pretty option. And you know what? We may do it that way. Or if it really bothered me to have all that extra space, I could just add a strip of red here and then have my pictures matted on that, which I also like. So why don't we go with that option? So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take all of these off and put them on white. I could use this piece of white and do both things on it and half them. And that's where I'm headed with this. So, let's cut this piece of white in half. How about a really easy idea? Isn't that what I said? Never works the way I intend it to, but that's okay. I have had more fun recently playing with all my papers and stickers and fun things and devising ideas and using up scraps. It's just been a lot of fun. All right. Put this on this mat. And again, we're just going to hit the corners, those edges really good. This will also give me that free edge right there to line this up, so I don't have to worry about lining it up on the 6-inch mark, because I know that was going in the corner. Just be sure that you get your patterns correct when you're doing this. And if you're seeing I've got some glitches right here on the edge, not anything to worry about, because we're going to fix that in a minute too. I am going to go ahead and put this corner piece in. So these are all my anchor spots that help me to space evenly with the rest of what I got going on. Yeah, that white behind that is very pretty, isn't it? I don't know why I didn't think of that first. Would have saved me a little bit of trouble. But that's part of the creativity, I guess. You play with things until you get it the way you like it. And I can tell my spacing right there needs to be altered a little. That's the beauty of that repositionable tape. And it doesn't have to be exact, but you kind of want it to be sort of close. All right, so we got that side done. I'm going to go back and finish this side, and then we'll proceed with this idea. So we've got both of the Starburst sides done, and you can see that my repo tape left a little bit of glitchies on my red, but we're going to cover that over anyway with pictures. So I'm going to cut this in half. And I think I'm going to turn it so all my glitchies are not on one side. And I could use both sheets of my red background, but I hate to waste a red, especially a pretty striped red like this. I'm going to cut this in half at 6. And I kind of think that even these dots on here left from my repo tape are kind of giving it a distressed look, which also works for me. But here again, I'm going to be covering most of that with photos, so it's fine. And I'm just rubbing off any of the excess repo tape I've got on there. And what I'm going to do is weld these two together. So if you watched Wednesday's video, you saw me weld using photo tape, something I found in a clean out stash. And this photo tape has a covering over the adhesive. So when you put it down, you don't even have to worry about it sticking to anything until you take the backing off of the adhesive. And that's the beauty of it. So those two sheets are stuck together. Let's do these two, and then we'll finish this idea out. It's not going to take but a minute to finish it all out. And I haven't been real concerned with this going all the way top to bottom, because I am going to add a border on the front too, which will help with the welding to keep it all together. And you can tell there's a little bit of a wrinkle right there, but here again, it's okay. Now, the one thing that we are going to have to cover is this right here. And we could do that in different ways. We could pull some larger stickers to add there. I mean, maybe even that giant eagle. A Starburst that could go there. We could pull one of our bigger sayings to go there. Possibly even embellishments. And I'm not even looked at these embellishments yet. But let's pull them out and see what we got, because something might work. And remember, these will be on opposite sides of my page, or opposite pages. So I could add that, which is pretty cute. I love this giant Starburst here, but I don't think, I don't think I love the teal on that one, so I think I'll wait on that. This Proud to be an American is cute. It doesn't quite cover everything down there, but that would give us a saying. How about the baseball and the Proud to be an American? Yeah, that would work. If you don't have embellishments or stickers that you like there, it is easy enough to just cut a half circle using your custom cutting system, and you can add that on in this edge right here. And I will show you a couple of layouts where I've done that. You'll see that as the video ends. You'll see other layouts using this particular layout idea. So I've got space here for all my white bordered pictures. Still got some repo tape there. But I've got this seam that I want to make a little bit different. And I'm going to do that by pulling a sticker strip. Now, if you don't like any of your sticker strips with your collection, it's easy enough to make a border. Use the border making system. Use a cartridge. Use a pre-made border. There are so many options you have here. So don't think you're stuck with an edge that you don't really like. And, you know, my first thought is use this because it pulls all my colors. That has the teal on it, which, you know, I've already told you I'm not wild about. So I'm going to lay this straight up this seam, and that just gives me an extra welding area. So it's covered on the front and the back. And I am going to make sure that seam is covered, although I didn't get it in the right place to start. This one has a little bit of a wave to it. So in order to get it perfectly lined up and get all my seams covered, I had to kind of play with it a second. Oh, but look how cute that is. And let's do the same thing on our opposite side. And lining it up on this 13-inch mat really helps that a lot. Okay. And that sticker strip is just a touch long, but I can trim that off with my scissors. And then let's add our embellishments, and then we'll be ready for our photos. Now, I'm going to be using foam circles that I've got left over. And I'm just throwing that right in there. I'm just trying to cover up where all those pieces come together. And we'll add the baseball. I like the sparkle on this baseball and the sparkle on that title. And I'm going to let this go off the bottom just a touch. And I can cut that off. And then add this one here. And I could do it a lot of different ways. I was kind of looking at whether I wanted it to go sideways or diagonally, but I think I'm going to leave it this direction. And then here we just need to cut that off. I could do that with scissors, but it'll be a lot straighter if I do it with my trimmer. Now that's an adorable layout, but the pictures are going to make it even more fun. I'm going to do something that will just drive some of you absolutely crazy. I am combining events, and I have pictures of my little grands, my granddaughter and her new little brother, when they were dressed in their patriotic outfits. It doesn't go at all with these pictures, but I'm putting them all on the same page because I'm fine with it. And when we were watching fireworks with some friends, and one of my friends said she had just seen a meme that said, "Don't post pictures of your fireworks. Nobody wants to see them." And she and I agreed we like taking pictures of our fireworks, so that's the way it is. Anyway, I found this meme that I thought was beautiful. I love the colors of it. I thought it went well with this paper. And since I didn't get any baseball pictures because my son and daughter-in-law have not been to any baseball games recently, I decided I would pull that off. I've got my foam square on there, but it's all right. I can use it on something else. And I'm just going to add that meme right in there because that's pretty. Now let's tape these down, and then I'll show you how I'd finish out some embellishments on this. I did do my journaling already, and I journaled that when we watch the fireworks. There are other events that lead up to the fireworks, and those will be a different page. In fact, it's our choir director's home we go to watch the fireworks, and they have a pond there. So several people were fishing before the fireworks show started. And of course I took pictures because we've got that wonderful simple page kit from June that has the fishing stuff on it. And I thought that would be perfect for these pictures. Yes, I do take pictures based on pages that I have. And I don't see anything wrong with that. I bet some of you do as well. And I've got to admit, I'm really very much a homebody. So there are times that I go to events that I may not really want to just because I want pictures to scrapbook. Any of you do that? I think it's a sickness, but it gets me out of the house occasionally too, and that's a good thing. You can tell I developed these in lots of different sizes, and I really was just looking at my spacing. Because of the Starburst effect and my sticker strip here, I could not develop a full 4x6 because it went over. This one is a 6-inch, and I did overlap some, but I couldn't do the full 4 because I couldn't fit them with some space in between them. And then I did just a little journaling block. I did take probably 20 pictures of fireworks that I kept, and I decided that you didn't have to see them all, and I didn't have to scrapbook them all. So I'm real proud of myself. Now, I did find these stickers with the All-American Blast, this cute little patriotic heart. I felt like that would be sweet right up here with my babies. And I am sticking a foam square on that. And then I found this Boom Pop Sparkle from the All-American Blast. That is cute. And I'm going to stick it over here with the patriotic hat. And you can tell I kind of like to cluster my stickers, embellishments, whatever. I don't like them free floating just in the air. I like them to be attached to something somewhere. And then I had these really cute little stars. And because my journaling is a little not symmetrical, you know, it has some space here at the end, I felt like that would be a nice place to add some of these little stars. And I think it makes the journaling look better. It makes it a little more interesting, but it also evens out that space that I wasn't liking. So, there are my 4th of July pages. I did them a little bit early because this event happened a little early, and this was actually on July 3rd. But hey, we've got patriotic pages. I hope you enjoyed your 4th of July, and I can't wait to hear what kind of pages you're doing with your pictures from the holiday. Until I see you next time, happy scrapping.